What was it like? I think there was I forget exactly what the name of it is, but you had gone down to record with James Taylor in the Caribbean somewhere, and I wondered if you had gone for any other artist.
We did, I forget which album it was. Maybe That's Why I'm Here or one of those. We did that at Air Studios in Montserrat
Oh,
down
yeah.
in the West Indies. And that was George Martin's studios down there. And it was amazing. I mean, James was not in good shape at this point. He was kicking methadone at that point, and he we got work done, but it was tough for him. He was going through some physical issues and stuff. Uh, but it was really cool. They had us. I remember this all so distinctly. They had us staying at a place called Olveston House, which was about a mile from the studio, and it was this place that had like a long hallway in it with bedrooms going off both sides. They could accommodate about maybe 10 people in this place. And there was a couple of gals who would come over every morning and do breakfast for everybody. And and I got to the thing where some of the guys like took a golf cart to see. I walked to the studio every day just to
Yeah.
you're walking through the mountains, walking by like the jerk chicken stand and
Oh my
all
God.
this. And one day we went down and there's a big waterfall down there, and we're standing under the waterfall and we're looking at each other going, this is wild. I mean, a log could come over that waterfall and kill us all. Um, the studio was great. It was one of the things they always did there. It was, I think, they would say like in search of the green flash, where when the sun would set, you'd watch the water out there, and as soon as the sun would break the surface, there would be this burst of green light. I mean, it was really interesting, and I think that's where Police did Ghost in the Machine, because
Oh,
we would be sitting in the studio and we'd hear this, and it was the machine. It needed an adjustment, so the tape would slowly just roll over the head and make this sound.
creep.
We're pretty sure that's where it came from, but there were so many memories of that. There was a the second engineer was a girl named Renata, and Renata I think was German, and I don't know, Interpol or somebody must have been after her because when a camera would come out, she was gone. She would not let her picture be taken. And we became friends because she was almost like a puppy. I gave her some candy bars and she became my bud. And but the thing that was amazing was when we were working, she'd be in longhand writing out the music as we're doing it. And I think Frank Filippetti was the engineer on that, and he would say, Renata, could we go back to bar 37, third? Boom, she was there because she had everything gridded out and so smart. Then I remember watching TV at one point, and when Elton tried to become kind of male, uh, he got married, and I'm
Oh, yeah.
watching his wedding on TV, and I look and I thought, I said, that's Renata. He's marrying Renata, the second engineer. It lasted for a little bit, and then he finally just came out, and
Yeah.
but it was amazing. And the coolest thing, and I just found it the other day. Uh, there was a chef who worked at the studio named Big George, and George Martin had found him at one of the big hotels on the island, and basically bought him away from that place to be the chef there. Guy made the best soups you ever tasted in your life every day, but he made the best barbecue sauce I ever
Um,
tasted. And one day I sat there and had him make it, and I wrote it all out. And I found that the other day. I found the
oh,
recipe,
wow.
and then
What
the
style barbecue sauce was it?
it was a sweet sauce, but um, it was just one of these ones where it's like the best hot sauce I ever had was the Montserrat hot sauce. And there's a part of me that wishes I would have bought cases of it and brought them back because it was a pepper that was growing on the island and nowhere else. And it
Right.
was one of those things it was pungent and hot, but not ridiculous. You could sit and drink it out of the bottle as a soft drink. It was so good. And then I think it was the volcano on the island or a hurricane came through and decimated everything. It was just all destroyed. So that
Oh,
ceased to
wow.
exist. There's
Because I was going to
pictures.
ask if George Martin's son ended up having that studio.
No, there's pictures online of it at this point, and it really looks like finding an old temple in
Oh,
Bangkok. You know, everything's grown over and stuff. And
wow.
and they focused at that point. George focused on Air Lyndhurst in London. That was his other
Yeah.
studio, and I've worked there a lot too. But it was one of those experiences. So we did that, and then there was another time down there where I did an album with a Japanese artist named Takaro Yoshida,
Right.
and he was kind of like the James Taylor of Japan, same kind of age and same style of music. And we did his album at Compass Point in the Bahamas,
Mm.
and it was cool. There's some pretty cool things. The thing is, when you're down there doing that stuff, you got to have so much backup gear because if anything goes wrong, you're fucked. It's
Right.
like, um, but one of my best memories of this though was at the Olveston house. We had a guitar tech with us for years on the road named Ed Kolakowski.
Oh,
Now, Ed, he worked for Zeppelin, he worked for all kinds of people, but he was trained at Steinway in New York. So he was like the house tuner for Carnegie Hall. He was Van Cliburn's favorite piano tuner. And I
wow.
mean, he you could blindfold him and he could take a 12-foot Steinway apart and put it back together again. But he ended up on the road being like a guitar tech basically. Uh, but smart, one of the smartest guys I've ever known. And he put together a cassette playlist. There was he took me there once. There was a bar in the village called Googie's that had the best jukebox in the world. And he basically duplicated their jukebox. And we would go out when we got back from the studio every night. We'd sit out. Had a swimming pool there and everything,
Yeah.
and they had some lounge chairs. And so what we would do is we would put he had just a boom box. We would put that underneath one of those because it rained every night while we were there. Um, and we would just sit out there in this warm rain, just talking and stuff, and had this music going out there, and there'd be bats flying around. So, I mean, it was one of those things you leave that place with just so many memories. Where, like yesterday, it was, I was in a studio in LA, but every once in a while you'd end up in one of these places where you go, this is really mind blowing. This is really good.